Alright, okay, so I have to set up this 37-gallon tank. It's going to be a dirted tank, typical, standard, densely planted tank. So first thing you got to do is you got to make sure that there is an appropriate area to keep the tank. You don't want something that's getting too much light. What I like to do is I like to put felt pieces on the bottom of the stand. I'll show you later on. So I already did that. And you also want to check to make sure that you have the appropriate amount of outlets so that you have enough space to put all your plugs. So I have 3 plugs on a timer for lights, and then I also have another plug that's going to be going in for a power head. So that's what's going to be used. Okay, so what I like to do first is so you want to check to make sure there's no cracks in the tank. Obviously, make sure that sealants is good. And then what you want to do is you want to take the red clay in a bag. This is a typical gallon Ziploc bag. I have it about maybe a third full. The dirt is going to naturally absorb some of the water, and therefore you're going to be left with a perfect layer of clay on the bottom. And I can show you with one of my other tanks. It's like literally a perfect layer of red clay on the bottom. So that spreads it out for you if you do it that way. Now you want to be careful not to get it on the sides of your tank. You want to get it straight down on the bottom. Because if you get it on the sides, then it's not coming off. Like you're going to have to wash it off. Or you're going to have to fill up the tank and then deal with the cloudiness of the water. So rather than that, just bring it to the bottom. Now I can just show you there is in fact a layer of sludge clay on the bottom. Now if you don't already know, the clay is used for what's it called? Here, I can just show you. Well, maybe. Yeah, there's in fact a layer of sludge. But it's used for iron, so you don't have to dose iron. So, okay, now we have our Miracle-Gro Choice. This is just a 5-pound bag. You probably should use more for more of a tank, but I'm only using this 5-pound bag because it doesn't need a thick layer. I'm doing a very thin layer. It's densely planted, but it's going to be mostly rooted plants, so it's not going to be pulling out tons of nutrients out of here all the time. So, yeah. Okay. Now we get into the dirt. So again, you want to get this close to the bottom, because now that you have the sludge on the bottom, it's going to splash. So when you spread it around, you'll start seeing the dirt absorbing the liquid, which is great. Because then you're literally going to be just left with one layer of sludge on the bottom. And you kind of want to spread it kind of slow. And you want to kind of pat it down and then pull it back up just so you can see what the levels of sludge are. You want to try and get all the water absorbed if you can. If not, it's not a big deal. You're just going to have to do maybe more water changes than you would normally have to, because then you're going to have to deal with the sludge coming up. Because clay does not settle. It will never settle. It's too fine to settle. So, or if it does, you know, you have to have no flow. So yeah. So I'm not really going to escape this. Normally what you would do after you do the sludge, you would scape it as best as you can. And you'd put in gravel to scape it and everything. But I'm not using gravel to scape this. This is going to be a pretty standard tank. The thing is, thin tanks are very hard to scape. If you have a boxy tank or a more thick tank, then you're going to be dealing with much easier thing to scape. Yeah, okay. Now some people do a gravel wall to block up the front. I don't like gravel walls. I think that they don't stop the algae in any way. But okay. So this is a 20-pound bag of gravel. In fact, I should be using more, but this is going to be a very, very light cap. So now normally you wash your gravel, but this is natural colors, and also I'm going to have to do water changes because of the dirt anyway, so I'm not too concerned with making a mess. And this you can just dump right in.